Hey guys, this is Pova, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the Git2 Pro. So this is in the same design style as a GoPro, so it will actually work in some GoPro cases, I believe. Just like a GoPro, it has a button here on the back, on the side, and on the top to shoot. I picked this up for $100 on Amazon, so I think it's a pretty good deal. It can shoot at 1080p at 60 FPS. Which I'm not sure if it's true 1080p, because if you play back the footage on like some text, it does look a little blurry. So I'm not sure if it's true 1080p 60, but it is definitely 60. Also, when I did 720 at 120 FPS, I noticed that when I slowed it down, it did not look like 120 FPS. I slowed it down 4 times, I believe, which would make it 30 FPS, but it did not look like 30 FPS. So I think they're lying there, but it's still a pretty decent camera. So I'm just gonna go over a quick just review of it, I suppose, and show you through the menus and stuff. So first thing you'll notice is that it has a screen. I'll go ahead and turn it on. I'm not sure the resolution of the screen, but it's pretty low, but it is definitely usable. I'm not sure if actually GoPros have screens. I didn't really look too far into them. And there we go, turns on, and at the top it'll show you just the resolution that you're currently shooting at, and the frame rate, the time you have left recording. I have an SD card here that's pretty full right now. It'll show you the date, the time, and the battery status, which is only 4 bars, so it's not going to show you any percent or anything like that. If you click the mode button right here, again, it'll go to camera mode. As you can see, I'm currently shooting at 60 megapixels. So if we go ahead and take a picture and click mode again, it will go to the gallery, which will take a second for some reason, but it'll eventually get there. There we go. So as you can see, that's the picture we just took. Click it again, we'll go to settings, and that's basically the UI. I'll go over that in a little later, but I wanted to go over just the physical look and feel of it, I suppose. So on the back we have the camera. I believe this is a Sony sensor. And we have 4 screws. I guess you could take this apart. Yeah, it looks like you could take it apart. You got the mode button, which is also the power button. If you hold it down, on the bottom we just have a little plate which comes right off, and you can pull out the battery, which I'm not going to do because it will reset all your settings. So yeah, there's no internal battery. On the side we have settings, but a settings button, and if you hold this down it will turn on Wi-Fi, so you can use the app, which is pretty finicky, and honestly doesn't give you any more features, so it's not really worth it. And then here we have an SD card slot. As you can see, I'm using a 32GB SanDisk SD card. There we go. This will also light up when you have Wi-Fi on. On here, we already went over this, but we have 2 lights here. This is a green light, and this is a red light. This one will turn on for when you have pictures. So let's turn it on right now, and I'll show you. So if we go ahead and turn it on, it'll turn red when it's not recording. Come on, the button's a little finicky. And then it will turn green when you're ready to take a photo. So it should turn on. Yeah, it's not turning on. Hang on. Alright, got it to turn on. For some reason this button is really hard to press sometimes. It just doesn't recognize it, it's being pressed. So the buttons are a little cheap. But as I was saying, we have 3 lights right here. Actually, I didn't even turn that on. So let's go to settings real quick and enable the backlight. I had that off because I didn't really need it, and it was showing up in my footage, so I didn't want that. And for some reason my camera is not focusing, but hang on, actually, oh, there we go. So let's go ahead and there we go. So now we can go back. There we go. So as you can see, we have a red light when it is not recording. We start recording and it will start blinking. If we go to photo mode, you'll see it turns green. We take a picture, it'll turn, the green light will turn off, and it'll turn back on when it's ready to take another picture. So that's basically what these 2 lights do right there. And as you can see in the top, we just have the capture button, and it also has an LED light to let you know what it's doing, as well as right here. So when the screen turns off, you'll know if it's recording or not, which is pretty nice. Let's go ahead and turn it off real quick. Got a nice GitUp screen when it turns on or off. Notice that it does have a couple scratches. This does scratch really easily. It's pretty cheap plastic, but I mean for $100 it's not that bad. Let's see, yeah, there it is. On this side, on the left side, we have a USB port, which is not micro USB. So we have a micro USB right here. It's focusing on my hand, but not here. Okay, we'll have to work with that. So if we try to plug it in, it won't fit. It's too small. So we also have a, I believe this is micro HDMI. I believe you can plug this into a computer if you want, or not a computer, screen to play back videos. And we have a microphone. I thought this was a speaker, but it's not, because when you play back videos, there is no sound. So it might be a cooling vent, or it does have a beeper. So when you click a button, you can have an option so it beeps. But that might be where it comes from. Not sure. And I think that's all. So now I can turn it on. So hang on, it's gonna take a second. Alright, so I got the device on. So if you want to change the video resolution or anything like that, when you're in the recording menu or mode, click the little settings icon or button on the right side, and it will bring you to the screen where you can change the video resolution. So if you want to interact with the setting you've selected, just go ahead and click the shutter button. So as you can see, it will change the resolution. So this thing can record at a maximum of 2K, which if you zoom in, I don't think it's true 2K, but it's close. So here are all the resolutions there are. I just do 1080p at 60 FPS, which I did mention earlier. I'm not sure if it's true 1080p or if it could be the bit rate is a little too low, so it's compressing the image. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not going to go over all the options because honestly I don't even know what some of them do. But the ones that I did change was the volume levels seemed very low, so I just changed it to high. You have date stamp, which I turned off, but that's good for like if you want to use a dash cam, which you can use as a dash cam. So when you plug it or it gets power, it will start recording, and when you turn the car off, it stops recording. Although that will not work if your car is always charging, or the 12-volt cigarette lighter plugs, whatever they're called, are always on, so you just have to unplug it manually, but that's not too much of a big deal. Anyways, that's not the point of the video. We have time-lapse mode, which you can do, I believe, 200 milliseconds, so 1 frame every 200 milliseconds, 1 frame a second, 1 frame every 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or off. I believe you can go higher with pictures, although you cannot take a frame every like 200 milliseconds. So next, let's see, we have white balance, custom white balance, no clue what that does. We have digital zoom, which I did set up. It's like a hotkey while you're recording, so you can click this and it will zoom in. You will need to update your camera software to get this, because the firmware that mine was running did not have that option until I updated it, which it is pretty easy if you just read the instructions. Let's see, what else do we have? EVA, I think this changes the lighting of it. Shutter speed, ISO, change the colors, you have contrast. All these I think are fine at the default settings, so I didn't change them. For slow motion, when you go to slow motion 2x, this will record at 1080p 60 fps. 4 times slower, it will record at 720p 120 fps, although I think it's not 120 fps because it looks pretty stuttery. And this will record at VGA 240 fps, which looks horrible, and I would not recommend it. I would honestly recommend just recording at 720p 120 fps and just slowing it down 4 or 8 times in a video editing software. And you have sharpness. I don't know what this does at all, honestly. Digital zoom, bitrate, I recommend turning that all the way up. Motion detection, I suppose you could use this as like, I don't know, a security camera maybe? It'd be a pretty bad one, but you could use it. G sensor, so that's for like crash detection, I guess. So if you want to exit the menu, just click the side button right here, just like you entered it. And it's the same thing for pictures. Click this, and it'll bring you to the same menu. Instead, for this one, it's just going to do image options. So I personally use 16 megapixels at 4:3. That's the highest that this camera can shoot at. So I'd recommend using that setting. And as you can see, we have all of these wonderful settings that honestly, I don't know what most of them do. So yeah, there is a time-lapse feature on this one as well. As you can see right here. I don't know what the highest interval is. Okay, the highest interval is 30 minutes. I think the video was that as well, unless it was 10. So that's that, and then you just have the gallery, which is a nice feature to include, but the screen is so small it's hard to see what's going on for a lot of them, honestly. So here's a picture that we took earlier in the video with the flash, because I'm recording with the phone's flashlight on, just because I don't actually have that good lighting setup. And then we have system settings. So this is different from the other two settings options I showed you. You have quick capture, which I'm not entirely sure what it does. In theory, it's supposed to be able to like turn it on real quick and take a picture or something, but I haven't seen any difference with that on or off, so I just left it off. You have beep, which is really annoying. So if you hit a button, it'll beep. I turned that off because I didn't like that. You have image rotation, so if you want to use it as a dash cam, I believe the way it works is, you suction. I think it's a suction cup you put in your windshield, and it'll have the camera like this. So if you have it on, it'll just flip over this whole screen and it'll record upside down like that. So we have OSD info. That's just basically the little information that you had, like showed the resolution, the time, the battery, and stuff. External power. This is basically how the camera should react when it's plugged in. So you have power on, start recording, or discharge, where it just shows you the little charging animation. I just have power on. Then you have custom text timestamp. I don't know how to get that one working. You can turn it off or on. You can't configure it. I believe you'd have to use a computer for that. Then you have an ability to change the LED lights that are on. So you can have all off if you don't want any LEDs on while it's recording. You can have the front and top LED on. It's basically every variation, so you can do the back and front if you'd like to. You could do just the back, etc., etc. Alright, so this was the setting I was using. I was just using front LED off, which is this one, and I was using that because when I was recording my Galaxy S5 teardown video, you could see this light blinking, which I didn't want in the video, so I just turned that off. So honestly, I think it's nice that you can use all these different variations, because if you're a vlogger or something, you could see if it's recording or not. So that's cool. Let's see, what else do we have? Alright, so the next option you have is screen sleep. So basically, it's just the time that it should wait until the screen turns off if you don't interact with it. I just turned it off so I could see what I was recording for the Galaxy S5 video. But normally I just leave it to 1 minute. But I had it plugged in, so I didn't really care. And I'm just going to leave it off for the video so it doesn't turn off on me. Next, you have auto power off. This is basically if you don't interact with the camera for so long and it's not recording, how long it should take or wait before it shuts off automatically. Pretty self-explanatory there. Then you have date and time settings to change the date and time, obviously. You can change the language. Let's see what languages. Okay, we have French, not France, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, Italian, maybe Russian. No clue, no clue, no clue, no clue, no clue, Dutch, and then English. Next, you have frequency. I believe this is for lights. So some lights work at a different frequency, I believe, different countries. That might be it. So you can change it so it's not flickering, I think. Don't quote me on that one. Then you have TV mode. This is just, I believe, the frame rate it records at. So you have NTSC or PAL. I think NTSC is 60 FPS. No clue there. Then you have Wi-Fi settings, so you can have it so it's a Wi-Fi station or AUP, an access point. Next, you have Wi-Fi auto start. This is just an option to have the Wi-Fi turn on automatically when you turn the camera on. And then you have remote control pairing, which I don't have the remote control since it did not come in the box. Next, we have remote control operation mode. I don't know how that works. I don't have the remote. Oops. This is just what it should do when you plug it into a computer. You have two options. You can either use it as a webcam or use it as like a flash drive to read your SD card, or you can just have it to prompt. I just have it prompts, so you can just select what you want to do. Next, you have format SD card. Next, after that, you have default setting. Don't know. Oh, that just resets all the settings actually. Whoops. And then you have version. So this is the version I'm running the camera on right now. And my screen's getting real dirty, so let's clean that off. There we go. So that's basically a walkthrough through all the settings. If you want to exit it, once again, just click the side button, and you'll jump back to the recording mode. Alright, so I forgot to mention the case. This came in the box. I believe this comes with every configuration. I think I bought the base model, but I'm not sure. It was just the only one I saw on Amazon. So this one's pretty easy to put on. Basically, you just open it up, you put the camera in it, you close it, and then you twist this, and there we go. It is now water resistant. It says up to 30 meters, I believe, so I wouldn't push it any farther than that, but in my test it had no problems at all, although I didn't go very deep, so I think the deepest I went was like probably 10 feet with this, so did not have any problems. I did not notice any water or any moisture that got in. One thing I did notice is that this little mechanism right here has gotten pretty weak since I've just opened and closed it so many times. Before it was a real pain to get off, but now I can just easily pop it off, so I don't think the seal's getting any weaker. I think it's just this, so I'm not sure if it's not like closing as tight as it normally does or used to, but hopefully that's not the case. But I have not had any issues at all. And as you can see, we have the 3 buttons right here that work just fine, and I believe this is made of glass, maybe. One thing I do have to note is that this thing scratches super easy, so not like it's a big deal since this will not scratch, and you're probably going to be underwater using this case, so you won't need to see the screen anyways. So that's actually it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next weekend.